All right, let's get into this. Qaadir and Nasir Lewis are 19-year-old twin brothers from Lawrenceville, Georgia. They were inseparable since birth. They did everything together, okay? They had just graduated high school and were planning to start a clothing brand. These weren't troubled kids. No history of violence, no drama, just two young men excited about the future, right? But on March 8th, 2025, their lives came to a horrifying and confusing end. Their bodies were found on top of Bell Mountain, a random remote spot in Hiawassee, Georgia. That's about a 2 hour drive from their house. They had never been there before. And get this, the day before, the twins were supposed to be on a flight to Boston to visit friends, but somehow they missed that, and then 24 hours later, they were dead. What happened in those missing hours? Now, look, Bell Mountain isn't the type of place you just happen to end up, okay? It's remote. It's not a tourist attraction. It's a place you go to on purpose, right? And on March 8th, 2025, at about 11:05 a.m., a group of hikers reach the summit and they see the bodies of the two boys just lying there, both with gunshot wounds. Authorities, they got there fast, and within hours, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation threw out a theory. One killed the other brother, then turned the gun on himself. Case closed? Well, not so fast. You see, their family wasn't buying that, okay? Their uncle, Raymond Bronner, spoke out immediately.
They're very protective of each other. I couldn't imagine them hurting each other because I never even seen them get into a fist fight before.
Their aunt Samira Bronner told reporters,
Out in the mountains, they don't hike out there. They've never even been out there. They don't know nothing about Hiawassee, Georgia. They never even heard of Bell Mountains. So how did they end up right there?
And then there's this. Their plane tickets to Boston? Yeah, still in their wallets when they were found. So now I have two massive questions, okay? Number one, why would they drive 2 hours into the mountains instead of just getting on their flight? And number two, if it wasn't deletion and self-deletion, then who else was there? See, the red flags are just starting to pile up for me, okay? The boys have no known connection to Bell Mountain. The twins weren't hikers, weren't campers, had never even mentioned this place before. Then there's the tight brotherly bond that they have, right? They weren't just close. People said they were inseparable. Friends and family said they had never even seen them have a serious argument, let alone anything violent between the two of them, right? But most importantly, there's no clear motive here, right? There were no warning signs, no history of mental illness, no threats, no issues with drugs or crime, just two young men with their whole lives ahead of them. Listen, somebody has to know something, okay? There is definitely more to this story. I can't help but feel like there is something missing here, okay? Definitely something missing here. And then, if this wasn't enough, something really weird happens.
Well, right now, a firefighter is facing charges in the case of twin brothers found dead on top of Bell Mountain, about 108 miles north of Atlanta. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation said they arrested 42-year-old Scott Curlin and charged him with misdemeanor obstruction. Authorities say the Towns County volunteer firefighter took photos of the Lewis twins' death scene and shared them publicly. Qaadir and Nasir Lewis were found shot dead last weekend. Police are investigating the case as a murder-suicide.
Seriously? Yeah, authorities hit him with an obstruction charge for interfering with the case, but why was he so eager to spread those images? And more importantly, what did he see? Now, as news of this case spreads, the internet is going to do what the internet does. And right now it's going the hell off, okay? People are not buying the official story. One of the biggest theories is that the twins were lured to Bell Mountain, right? See, the thing is, turns out that Hiawassee, Georgia has a history. Historically, it was known as a sundown town, a place where Black people weren't safe after dark. Even today, the town's population is overwhelmingly white, with very, very few Black residents. And this is the reason why people are asking, did someone trick the twins into going there? Yeah, I mean, it keeps circling back to that question because these were two young men who don't have a history with the area. According to their family members, they had never even heard of that mountain, had never been to Hiawassee, Georgia, have no connections to that place. So, why are they there? It makes absolutely no sense unless they went there to meet with someone. Here's the thing, autopsies on the twins were completed shortly after their deaths, but the results did not immediately confirm a deletion and self-deletion. In fact, the GBI's medical examiner held off on ruling the official cause and manner of death pending additional forensic tests. So, even the authorities had to acknowledge that the case wasn't open and shut, right? While police initially suspected one brother shot the other, they could not conclusively prove that scenario without further evidence. And as of mid-March 2025, these deaths remain officially unexplained, right? More of a mystery rather than a closed case. So here's what we know. Qaadir and Nasir missed their flight on March 7th. By March 8th, they're found dead on Bell Mountain. Authorities are leaning towards deletion and self-deletion, but family and the public strongly disagree. And as of right now, there are no confirmed suspects and no explanation for why they were in Hiawassee to begin with. And here's what we don't know. Who were they with that night? How did they end up on a mountain they had never heard of? Why did someone leak their death photos? And most importantly, did someone else pull the trigger? One thing's clear, okay? Qaadir and Nasir's story doesn't make sense. Two promising young men just don't drive into the mountains and end their lives for no reason, right? The family deserves answers. The public deserves transparency, and until someone steps up with the truth, this case will remain unsolved. Do you think this was a setup? Could it be a cover-up? Do you think there were other people involved, or are you buying the official story of deletion and self-deletion? Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think. Again, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bet you know now.